There was an old deck here that was in dire need to be torn out and rebuilt. Now the most important part about building a deck is the structure, the foundation. That's where it all begins. If the foundation is compromised or the structure is compromised, it all fails. So of course, we're gonna get all of our lumber, all of our fasteners, our glue from RONA, because you build it right, you build it RONA. Very important that all the crowns are facing the same direction. We want to put the crowns up because as load sits on that deck, that's all the crowns facing that way up. Load's gonna help that settle. Now it's not gonna settle the crown itself, but as long as they're in the same direction, you're not gonna have those waves. If the crowns are down, that's when you can get dips. You don't want dips in your beams. Whether inside or outside, I always like to PL my beams. So whenever we're laminating beams together, I like to glue it and nail it, ensuring that strong bond. This piece sitting a little low. Sometimes what I like to do, pull the safety, don't try this at home, pry this piece up, and then sink a nail in. That way our beam's sitting flush. Now, we've got our 7-foot or 11. Now we're gonna overlap this joint with our 11-foot. So it's gonna span that, split that load. Really, this is gonna feel and operate like a full 18-foot triple ply beam. I'm an artist and this is my canvas. Before putting any piece of wood up, you wanna check for a crown. A crown is essentially a belly in the wood. Every single piece of wood will have a crown. So if you look down this side, you'll see there's a curve. There's a natural curve in that wood, meaning our crown, our belly, is on this side. So when you're marking the piece, you're gonna mark a little hump like that. And this is telling you that the direction of crown is here. When we're building our deck and building our beam specifically, we want all the crowns facing the same direction. Our crowns are gonna be faced up. You gotta watch out for these little guys. These little staples will tear a hole so big in your sole, there's no turning back. No recovery, straight to the morgue. See how loose these saddles are? These we will tighten up once everything squares up. There's a bolt underneath that we're gonna snug up. And then also we have 2 holes here for through bolts or lag bolts. So once we get our beams in, we add a couple shims for our triple beam. We'll tighten everything up. Right now, there's a little bit of play. That is just to adjust our heights. Makes it easy, because if you're doing concrete, you add a saddle in. If you're a little bit out of square, then you might have to cut that out, drill it out, put epoxy in, add a new bracket. These, super adjustable, super easy. So here's a tip. I'm gonna measure where my second piece for my beam is gonna go, and I'm gonna mark 11 feet. Because this is a triple ply laminated beam, that's what it's spec'd for. We're gonna glue it. I'm gonna glue to this line. That way I'm not getting glue all over my hands, all over my tape measure. A little bit cleaner, helps on the job site. So I'm using 3 1/4 inch nails. So when you're nailing through a 2-ply, you want to nail on an angle so that the nails aren't just bumping out on the other side. This is going to be covered, so aesthetically it doesn't really matter, but for safety reasons, you don't want to get caught on the nail, they're pretty sharp. You've heard the saying, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. Pressure treated lumber. When you cut it, you remove the pressure treated side of that. So now this end cut here is no longer pressure treated. So what we're going to do, we have this end cut, so it's like a sealer. Dip our little foam brush in, and then we are going to seal up the end of our wood, making sure no water can get in this wood. When you're starting your layout for 16-inch on center, it's very important that you move 3/4 of an inch back. Because our lumber is dimensional lumber, it's 1.5 inches thick. So in order to have 16 inches on the center, we gotta move 3/4 of an inch, which is 1/2 inch back, so that our layout is in fact 16 on center. So with blocking, it's always good, rather than measuring individually in between each floor joist, because it's 16 on center, you're taking 3/4 of an inch off on either side, which from 16 leaves you at 14.5. So just cut multiples at 14.5. If there are any bows, this will help straighten everything out and also keep everything more sturdy. Put my hammer somewhere over there. You mind tossing it over?
Yeah.
This is why you wear a tool belt, to put your tools back in them. That's why I just leave them scattered. For something like a beam, you wouldn't want to use a screw. This is a deck screw, it's 3 inches. The shear strength on this is not rated for anything structural. This is a lag screw. Now this is structural. It's engineered to be strong enough for a structural beam, so this is what we're using on our beams. Structure's done, beams are in place, footings are done, floor joists, rim joists on. I'm happy with my blocking. All that's left is to add in some deck boards and some railings, but for today, we're complete.